What's up, guys?
Hey guys!
Welcome back to Leelah and Anje Show.
Yes!
I'm Leelah.
And I'm Angie. And today we're going to talk about the Women's March.
Yay.
And also just protesting. So for Leelah and I, this is our first year protesting.
Right, ever.
It was so exciting. We actually protested together for the...
it was right after the election.
Right after the election.
Saturday or whatever.
It was, yeah. So I guess that didn't really have a title. Like that march didn't really have like a specific title, like the Women's March did. So what does protesting and marching mean for you?
I guess for me, my mother, and then like in the past you've heard about all these great protests and marches. But up until this point, I guess for us, I don't know if there ever was a moment where I felt a strong urge or like a sudden urgency to need to be a part of something or to make my voice heard. Right. But at this point, I feel so strongly about it. And then I think especially also I didn't want like any of the policies that were happening, I didn't want anyone around the world to think that we agreed with it. Right. So that was really important for me because I know that, they're watching and it's affecting the world. And definitely like Congress people, they look at, these big groups and say, this is a lot of dissent, these are a lot of angry people, and so we might need to do something to, make them happier.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What about you?
For me, wow, I feel like honored, actually. Yeah. Like when I'm like protesting, when I'm marching, when I'm chanting, I just feel like so honored. Like the fact that this is my constitutional right, that I am allowed to do this, I can do this. There's so many other countries where not even just citizens, but women especially cannot do that. Right. They don't have that voice. There's places in the country where a woman can't walk and make noise. You know what I mean? She can't show her face, she can't show her hair, she can't show her skin, like just all different types of things. So it just feels like such an honor to be able to be out there and like have my voice be heard and have it known that like, no, I will not stand for this. I will not tolerate this. This is not what I believe America is. This is not my America. This is not what I will tolerate it.
And you know what's so great also is that it gives other people courage. Like people that would normally not go out, but they see all of these people making their voices heard. So they're like, well, I wouldn't be alone if I went and did it. Yes. And I saw an article, it might have been a news clipping, but this lady from Russia who'd been by herself protesting, like I think it was like a couple years ago, she was out protesting women's rights because they just passed a law in Russia about they're decreasing decreasing the penalties for domestic violence. Oh. Yeah, and so she's been out there protesting by herself. Right. But now this year, a lot of women went out and joined her.
That's amazing.
And so, I mean, no doubt, I'm sure like the Women's March gave them just that much more, back.
Together we can.
Right, exactly.
Yes, you're so right. I met a few women at the Women's March who were by themselves, and they were like, my family may not understand, or my friends, may not really or understand, or they understand but they just wouldn't come, or whatever the reason may be, but they're like, but I'm gonna be here, and I know that when I show up that everyone else here will welcome me and I won't be alone.
And it's exhilarating. When you're there, it's so exhilarating.
It really is. And I just want to put on the record, none of the protests that we have been to have been violent. Right. At all. Right. I just want to like sweep that under the rug, because I know like you were telling me like stuff on the news, people were saying that protesters were being paid. We're not being paid.
Like, most of the people like that we've been out there with, like they've never done this before.
And even the ones who have, like the older adults, or like the senior citizens, whatever they may be, they're protesting so peacefully. Now what I do think, I'm just gonna keep it so real right now, I do think that like when I see the videos online, like for example the one right after the election that we went to, I saw on the news that there was like all this vandalism happening, and like people were like breaking cars and like breaking windows. Yes, and I literally was like, those people are paid. They're paid to act like we are like destructing things and like we are harming things and people. That never happened.
Yeah, because we were there we were there to the end.
You guys, and the police here, like LAPD was like so helpful. Yeah. They were like, not only were they the ones blocking off the streets, okay? Let's just be real. Okay,
Right.
they were blocked off before we got there, number one. And number two, they were like guiding us, and they were so kind, and they were like cheering us on and high-fiving us and hugging us. Like, they were so kind. So I don't like know where this footage comes from. And then when you see the footage, there's like not a lot of people around them. So I'm like, where are these people?
Yeah, usually, and they probably didn't have anything to do with the movement.
Absolutely.
They're just probably on their own if they're, if they're not paid.
Right, and that happens, people who may not be paid and they just are on their own. Like, they're not a part of the movement. They're just rebels coming to like do their thing, and they just want to start it because we're there and it makes it look like it's us, but it's like not us.
But let's talk about our favorite speeches at the Women's March.
Okay, for me, my favorite speech actually is from the New York Women's March, which I wasn't there. I was at the one in LA, and it's Ashley Judd. Oh, she did an amazing job. So basically what she did was she said a speech that was written by a 19-year-old named Nina Donovan from Tennessee, and I'm going to share a little bit with you. I have. So I just looked up the speech. I've watched it. We'll drop a link for it below so you guys can watch it as well if you haven't already seen it. It's amazing. She spoke with so much passion. Like, I had to like rewatch it to like realize that she didn't write it herself, because like I definitely thought she wrote it.
I mean, because she embodied it.
Oh my God. I just was like, is she speaking this from the heart? Like, did she just write this herself? Like, I'm not sure.
It almost, I mean, she's an actress, but
that's true.
But it literally, like, it sounded like she was just making it up.
As she went, you guys, and that's passion.
So
because there's a difference. Like, you can just be an actor and you can be a great actor, but that is passion. Like, she believed every word she said, and she felt it, and she meant it, and I felt it, and I know it. Anyways, I'm gonna share this little part.
I like your nail color, by the way.
Thank you. I just painted them yesterday because I knew we were doing this.
Yeah,
we're gonna be shooting today.
This morning.
You did. Love it. Okay, so my favorite part of this, and then I'll tell you why it's my favorite part. Maybe the South actually is going to rise again. Maybe for some, it never really fell. Blacks are still in shackles and graves just for being black. Slavery has been reinterpreted as the prison system in front of people who see melanin as animal skin. I am not as nasty as a swastika painted on a pride flag, and I didn't know devils could be resurrected, but I feel Hitler in these streets.
Wow. That gives me chills.
Okay. It's so deep. It's so good. Okay, and the reason why I think that I know that touched me the way it did is because my grandfather and my great-grandfather was a slave. Okay, in Alabama, and my grandfather, my dad's dad, of course, was born on a plantation, born into slavery. Obviously, my dad's older. My dad will be 71 this year, so you can just imagine. But you guys, it wasn't that long ago. We need to stop acting like this was like 5 centuries ago. You know what I mean? Like, this was real, and it really happened, and it touches me. My family, my dad's side of the family is from the South. That's where they're from. My dad grew up on a farm, the whole 9 yards. Oh my gosh, I said whole 9 yards. I sound like my dad. And so that just really speaks to me, because as much as my dad has gone through, right, seeing Martin Luther King Jr. from my dad went to a segregated high school. My dad was drafted into the Vietnam War at 17 years old. My dad has done all that. My dad has seen all that. My dad also saw the first black president, which he never thought he would ever do in his lifetime. And to imagine that, mass incarceration still is the way it is. If you haven't watched The 13th by Ava DuVernay, you need to go watch it. It's on Netflix. Anyways, the idea that like prison is a form of slavery for people of color.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's disgusting the way it is, and we're really fighting to change that. And there's other ways, and the Women's March isn't just for reproductive systems. You know what I mean? Like, there's other
everything.
Everything. And for me, hearing this speech was like, that's why I march. Yeah. That's why. So like my nieces, my nephews, other children that wear my skin color, whether it be darker, lighter, any color shade of melanin, can feel safe and can feel free and cannot feel like anytime they're walking down the street, if they see a police officer or whatnot, that they have to be a certain way, or that they're automatically going to be targeted because of the color of their skin. Like, I'm done with that. Like, we shouldn't still be doing this, It's crazy. Anyways.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I could go on and on about that part of it.
I know. She really could, you guys. Her and her mom, it's a real life thing for them.
But my favorite speech was really Scarlett Johansson's.
Oh yeah.
Because she spoke about Planned Parenthood, and her speech, I could tell it came from the heart because she had a hard time speaking about it, and she doesn't normally, speak to the public.
Right.
And so I was very touched by her words, and she really talked about what Planned Parenthood did for her as a teenager. And it really saved her life, as well as her sister's. And I think she was on her own because she was an actress at a really young age, and so she was on her own at 15. And so, but her mother told her that was a place she could go to, but she was living on her own. So they really kind of took her in and were helpful in like letting her know the different services that they had, and I really, that experience spoke to me, because I wasn't, TMI, but like I wasn't sexually active when I was 14, but that's when my mom took me there, because she wanted me to know, like, this is a place where you can go if you ever need birth control, or if you ever need like pap smears or any type of services. They provide it at a low cost, and a lot of it is free. Yeah. So when I got older, I didn't have to go to my mom to ask about anything. I knew there was already a place
you could go.
Yeah. So that really was like a really great speech, and I feel like younger girls, they need to have that space where they don't always go to their parents, and so they need a place where they know that they can get care, they can get services for free or low cost. And so I really felt like the whole march, even though it was about different things, it was also about supporting institutions that have supported us.
Yes.
So
good.
This is really cute.
Is this yours?
Yeah.
Can I have it?
No, I like that sweater.